Good morning to everyone. In last lecture of the subject kinematics and theory of machine, we have started our discussion on a new topic, which is gear and gear trains. In that one, we have discussed about how these gears, which is actually one kind of a friction disc, which its design is modified to reduce the slip between the disc so that the power can be transmitted from one shaft to another shaft, and we can achieve a high velocity ratio. Then we have talked about certain advantages of gear drive. We have also discussed about the limitation of a gear drive, and then we have started our discussion on a classification of gears. And in that classification, first classification that what we have discussed is according to the position of axis of the shaft. According to the position of axis of the shaft. And in that one, the first category is a parallel shaft. When the two shaft power transmitted from one shaft to another shaft and both shaft are parallel to each other. And in that one, the first gear that what we have discussed is a spur gear. And that spur gear, it is having a tooth which is parallel to the axis of the shaft. And that spur gear may be external spur gear like this, or it may be an internal spur gear. And in external spur gear, the direction of rotation of both the driver and driven shaft that will be opposite to each other. While in case of an internal spur gear, the axis of rotation of the driver shaft as well as the driven shaft that will be in the same direction. If it is clockwise, then driven shaft is also going to be in clockwise. So both external as well as internal spur gear that is widely used in various application. Then second we have discussed is a rack and pinion gear. So in that one gear is having a infinite diameter and second gear which is rotating with respect to that. So in that one, this kind of rack and pinion gear that will be used to convert rotary motion into translatory motion or translatory motion into a rotary motion. So both alternatives are possible, both combinations are possible. We can convert rotary to translatory or from translatory to rotary motion. So this is the second category, rack and pinion gear. Then third is a helical spur gear. In that one, the tooth of the gear which are not parallel to the shaft axis, but they are inclined at a certain angle, and all that tooth having the same angle. And suppose this is the driver shaft, then on the another driven shaft, the tooth which is having a opposite angle with respect to that what the driver gear has. Okay, so you can see this driven gear has an angle in this direction like this. Okay, so driver has a given angle in this direction, while opposite to that driven has a tooth like this. So this one is the helical spur gear. Now in this helical spur gear, it has the contact which start at the point, and then it will increase, and then it will ends ends with the diagonal line across the teeth, so that whatever the impact strains or the noise which is at higher speed generated during the spur gear, which is reduced by using that helical spur gear. Okay, so this is the advantage of a helical spur gear. But the helical spur gear, which is difficult to generate because it has a curved tooth, while in a spur gear we have a straight tooth. Okay, so it is easy to manufacture, where in helical gear, though it has certain advantage, but the limitation is that its manufacturing is quite difficult as compared to spur gear. And last we have discussed is a herringbone gear. In that one, in a single gear we have both the uh, inclined tooth. Okay, so that is known as a herringbone gear. Okay. So now we will see the classification of a gear, that according to the position of the axis of the shaft, but the category is different, that now it is a intersecting shaft. So when the two non-parallel or non-intersecting shaft, but they are a coplanar shaft connected by a gear, and that gear is called as a bevel gear. So as you can see in this uh, figure, the axis of the shaft 1 is this one, the axis of the shaft 2 is this one, but they are not parallel with each other, but they are coplanar because they are meeting at a certain point. And this type of gear, it is known as a bevel gear. And when two to form on the cones of a straight, the gears which is generated, which is known as a bevel gear, and they are inclined. As you can see here, they are inclined. Okay, they are parallel but inclined, and that are known as a spiral or a helical gear. So now first in that one, first is a straight bevel gear. Okay, second one is a spiral bevel gear. So you can see here in the spiral, it is having certain angle, while in a straight one, as we have already discussed in a spur gear, they are a straight gear, and helical gear means it is a spiral. So in that one, in a straight bevel gear, the tooth are straight, radial to the point of intersection of the shaft axis, and vary in the cross section throughout their length. So this is the important things. As you can see here, this is the straight, but the thing is that there, if we elongate the line, they will meet over here at the center. Okay, at the intersection point. Okay, so if I will elongate any line, they all meet with the point of intersection. It will meet at the point of intersection. Okay, so all the radial lines are meet at the intersection point, and as you can see here, suppose this is the tooth, so its cross section, you can see here the cross section at the starting and cross section at the end, it is vary. Okay, it is increasing in this direction, so its cross section, it has a vary in cross section throughout their length. So from this point, and if we go to the lengthwise, its cross section that is going to be vary. So this is the bevel gear, while in spur gear the cross section that will remain same throughout the length, while in bevel gear the cross section is going to be vary. And second thing is that it's if we it's a radial line, it is connected to a point of intersection, and usually they are used to connect shaft at right angle which run at low speed. So as you can see in this diagram, generally it will be used at for a 90-degree. Okay, but some other angle then also we can use, but generally it will be used for connecting the shaft which are at right angle to each other. Gear of the same size and connecting two shafts at a right angle to each other, then this gear or this bevel gear, this is known as a meter gear. Okay, so it is one important definition. As you can see in this diagram, the both the gear, this gear 1 and gear 2, this gear 1, suppose this is gear 1 and this is gear 2. Now this gear 1 and gear 2 having a different shape and size. Okay, but if the gear 1 and gear 2 having the same shape and size, but are they are right angle to each other. Now the same gear which is here, the shape and size of the gear 1 and gear 2 having the identical shape, then this pair, it is known as a meter gear. And whatever you see here in this diagram, whatever the present diagram, it is not meter gear. Why? Because the shape and size of the gear 1 and gear 2 are not same. But if it is same and they are at exactly right angle to each other, then it is known as a meter gear. So this is one important definition you will find in many competitive exam. Then second one is a spiral bevel gear. The first one is a straight bevel gear, second one is spiral bevel gear. So when the tooth of a bevel gears are inclined at an angle to the face of the bevel, they are known as a spiral bevel gear. So here they are straight. Okay, they are straight. All the tooth are straight. But instead of a straight, if they are curved like this or inclined at certain angle like this, then it is known as a spiral bevel gear. They are smoother in action and quieter than straight tooth. And why this happens so? Because they have a gradual load application and they have a low impact stress. And there exists an axial thrust calling for a stronger bearing and supporting assembly. So this is one of the limitation of this one spiral bevel gears, because there will be a thrust, okay, axial thrust that will be generated when we have a spiral bevel gear. And to carry that axial thrust, we require a strong bearing and strong supporting system. And they are used to drive for the drive to the differentials of automobile. So as we have already discussed that a differential, we also seen in the example that a differential is generally operated by the spiral bevel gear. So this is the application of a spiral bevel gear. Then third is a zero bevel gear. So it is the third gear when the spiral bevel gear with curved tooth but with 0 degree of spiral angle, that are known as a zero bevel gear. Okay, so it has a curved tooth but with 0 degree of spiral angle, and then it is known as a zero bevel gear, and their tooth action and the end thrust are the same as that of a straight bevel gear, and therefore it can be used in a same mountings. And however, they are quieter in action than the straight bevel gear. This type, why? Because they have a curved tooth, okay, curved teeth. So these are the third type of a gear, zero bevel gear. So first what we have discussed is a straight bevel gear, second one is a spiral bevel gear, and third one is a zero bevel gear. And these all are the classification is according to the intersecting shaft. Then in the same category, according to the, okay, now this classification is changed according to the peripheral velocity of the gear. Okay, now actually sorry, this one is the wrong name. The name is same according to the position of the axis of the shaft, and in that one 1.3 it is the non-intersecting and non-parallel shaft. Okay, non-intersecting and non-parallel. Whatever up till now we have seen, they are intersecting or parallel shaft. Spur gear you have seen, they are parallel shaft. Then bevel gear you have seen, it is a intersecting shaft. But the third category that we are seeing, that is the non-intersecting as well as non-parallel. Okay, and in that one we have, as you can see, the two non-intersecting and non-parallel shaft, or they are also a non-coplanar shaft connected by a gear. Okay, it is called as a skew bevel gear or a spiral gear. Okay, and in this gear teeth they have a point contact. As you can see, this is the skew bevel gear, and a worm gear is a special case of a spiral gear in which the larger wheel usually has a hollow shape such that a portion of the pitch portion of a pitch diameter of the other gear is enveloped on it. Means the in video we have seen that the worm and worm gear. So that is the case of a non-intersecting and non-parallel shaft, and it is generally used for a high velocity ratio. So this is the third category, non-intersecting and non-parallel shaft. Then second category is according to the, now this one, this is actually the heading is that according to the peripheral velocity of the gear, according to the here, according to the peripheral velocity of the gear. So now according to the peripheral velocity, it will be classified as a low velocity, medium velocity and high velocity gear. So when the velocity is less than 3 meter per second, then they are termed as a low velocity gear. When the velocity is between 3 meter per second to 5 meter per second, then it is known as a medium velocity gear. And if the velocity is more than 15 meter per second, then it is called as a high velocity gear. So this is the second classification according to the peripheral velocity of the gear. Okay, and then third, according to the type of gearing, external gearing, internal gearing and rack and pinion gearing. So here, as you can see here, these tooth are outside, then it is known as external gearing. Here in that one, the tooth is inside, then it is known as internal gearing, and this is the rack and pinion, what we have already discussed. And then according to the position, straight, incline and curve. We have already discussed about for the straight, for the incline and for the curve. So okay, so this is the classification of different types of gear. Now what are the various different terminologies that we will see in our next lecture.